Welcome to the Sunday night stream. Wow, what a weekend. What a weekend. Let's see who is with us tonight. Good place to start as any. Looks like Grish was first. Curious about the updates. No, it's not Windows updates, but welcome in PM3. Alonzo, welcome. Terrell's here. We'll be online for a short time. My chat was not showing your comments. Okay, gotcha. I know it does that sometimes. I had high expectations this weekend of getting a bunch of things done. I got a fraction of those things done. So yesterday I set about doing some preparation work to be ready to cut things over from the OpenSense firewall to the Grandstream GCC 6010. Didn't get exactly where I wanted yesterday. And I thought, all right, well, I've got today. Well, today started off a decent day. I was up early. I got outside. I did some yard work, got the mower out, did some mowing. Not near all of it, but if you saw how tall some of this crap is behind the building, then you would understand why. Did some trimming and some raking, just trying to get things back in order outside to some extent, because it seems like when I haven't been working, it's either been hotter than hell or it's been raining. It seems like there's been no middle ground. It's been one extreme or the other at my location in Michigan most of the summer. And we didn't really have a spring to speak of. It just went from cold to hot. So here it is, August, and I'm trying to clean up stuff that I should have been doing in the spring. Now, granted, I didn't have a mower over here until about the middle of July, so that was part of the issue. But I've got a mower, I've got a weed whacker that I still need to finish assembling. It's an electric one, battery powered. So once I get that put together, then I'll be able to do some additional trimming and edging with that. Yeah, it's been a thing. You may also notice I'm missing some facial hair. After being outside today, I came in for a hot shower and I just did it. Not sure if it'll stay this way, but for now, facial hair is gone. It'll probably be back by October. The goatee is or technically the Van Dyke has been my look for the better part of 20 years now. So I'm not ready to completely abandon that. I am close to reaching my step goal for today. Probably got about another 500 steps I need before midnight, which is all right. I can pull that off. I've got some work I'll need to do after the stream is over, and that's fine, right? It does feel weird not having facial hair. Um, let's see. David is here. Welcome. I miss a good thunderstorm. We don't get them in my area of Michigan anymore. Yeah. I miss not having enough snow in the winter to do cross country skiing. I really enjoyed cross country skiing, but there just hasn't been the snowfall. Can we live on Long Island for a while? You get sick of thunderstorms in short order. Oh, David, speaking, I was thinking about you earlier today. Adrian Black from Adrian's Digital Basement has been working on a terminal from the early 80s. It was a terminal and a keyboard. It's actually branded Zenith, but if you followed the history of Heathkit, you will know that Zenith bought Heathkit and rebranded many of their products. So when Adrian had opened this device up in a previous episode, it actually has a 1980 copyright from Heath Corporation or Heathkit Corporation or whatever the actual corporation name was. I found this kind of interesting. So this is basically a keyboard terminal with a built-in 300 baud modem and some battery-backed memory, so you could save a phone book and be able to auto dial into various online services that were around in the early 80s. Yeah, today you would probably prefer to have a root canal over connecting to anything at 300 baud. But that's a discussion for a different day. Let's see. I've had a Fu Manchu since I was 19. Nice. Yeah, Zenith bought Heathkit. Yeah. I had a lot of Heathkit stuff back in the day. I saw it in the back of magazines. I never owned any of it. Yeah, sadly, there's not really a good equivalent these days. So I was on the fence about doing the stream tonight or pushing it off until tomorrow. But I do have a few things to update. I did make some progress today. I did some more documentation of the existing network using a tool called ARPScan, which is nice. And I did that, and I was able to shut down some equipment downstairs in preparation of the cutover, because I think all of the stuff that I shut down downstairs is all DHCP assigned anyways. So that's not going to pose an issue when I switch things over. I'll be attending the Northeast Vintage Show next weekend. I hope to see some Heathkit stuff there. I've also been looking into bringing my Atari 1040 ST out of mothballs. Yeah, I would love to see that. You would be surprised at how many modern adapters and accelerators and oh my gosh, there's so much stuff and a lot of it carries over and is available in flavors for both Amiga and Atari. Um, Especially the accelerators and things. There's an adapter board that I believe runs on both that will take a socketed 68,000 CPU and let you replace it with a Raspberry Pi board and use that as your CPU. I find some of these accelerator boards and ways to add new features to old computers very fascinating. And it's interesting to watch it unfold. I've been following a couple of different computer platforms over the years, and different options that have come out. I just saw yesterday there's a new super CPU board for the Commodore 64 that's supposed to be like 16 or 24 megahertz, which is quite a change from the 2 megahertz that it normally operated at. There was also a company in the early 80s that wasn't around for more than a couple of years, but they built a chassis that you would plug your Commodore 64 into, and this chassis basically held an Apple II motherboard without the CPU. It would use the CPU in the Commodore 64, but then you would have a toggle so you could go between Commodore 64 mode and Apple II mode. I had never seen such a thing. I thought it was interesting, for sure. But that was one of those novelty items, and I guess the CEO of the company absconded with all the cash and left it in ruin. So it didn't last very long. So yeah. That's that. I did treat myself since I was out doing yard work today. I don't know how red my head is, but since I was out doing yard work today, I did treat myself to a hot fudge sundae at the local ice cream shop. So that was nice. I think that's it might be the first time I've been over there this whole summer. So anyway, that's the update there. So long story short, or should I say long story long, no, I didn't get everything cut over to Grandstream over the weekend like I had planned. I'm closer now than I was, but there are a few things that I need to rearrange and document a little deeper before I do the cutover. I'll also need to get on the Grandstream side of things and change that to the subnet I'm currently using on the OpenSense, and then things will come back up relatively easily, and then it's just doing some reorganization based on being able to use VLAN, since I'll have VLAN aware switches, smart switches, and be able to move that forward to a deeper degree than I have when I was just using the two Zyxel managed switches. So it's coming along. It's not where I wanted it to be, but I did have to seize the opportunity and the good weather to get outside and work on the mess of a yard that I've been left with. So it is what it is. I still may end up hiring a company to come in and do one, at least one mowing of the tall stuff, because it's kind of a tough mow with a push mower. And with a zero turn or even just a standard rider, you can make such short order of it that it'd be so much easier. I'd rather spend the time raking up stuff, and then maintaining it with the push mower than trying to get through what I've got right now. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at, and it is what it is. Life goes on, right? Let's see. I still have some Heathkit test equipment that still works, so maybe I should make a video showing the accuracy of that stuff against the newer equipment. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I fear that my Atari ST does not have a working 3.5-inch floppy drive since I did not protect it appropriately from the environment. Well, that's not the end of the world. There are these devices called Gotek. At least that's what they call it for the Amiga. Basically, it's a floppy drive emulator that you can dump disk images on a USB stick. Grandstream is not, or at least not fully open source. They make their own devices, but the long and the short of it is I don't want to be fighting with my network equipment anymore. And so going to Grandstream at this point in time makes more sense than continuing to fight with some of the issues I've had with the OpenSense box, some of which might be my own doing, but I don't have the connections in the industry with people that actually use OpenSense on a regular basis to help me through those issues. And so I know multiple people using Grandstream, and so it's a phone call away. If I run into a situation, I can get somebody on the telephone and say, hey, I'll Venmo you $50 if you can help me through this issue. But I spent the weekend running power network cables through my basement ceiling. Well, at least it was inside. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. Nobody said a thing about it at the ice cream shop. I bet half of them didn't get it. But that's all right. That's all right. I have all the Unify equipment now waiting to be installed in my rack. It needs that extra network and power before I install. Nice. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, and I know this group is not the target demographic for what I'm doing right now. So I am not at all offended if those in this group here are not watching them. But I am trying to challenge myself. As much as I hate shorts, I am trying to challenge myself to do one short a day for the whole month of August. You're never going to get me to do more than one a day. I just, this is my limit. And the only way I'm getting through this is by batching the recording of these shorts. But I'm doing one short a day, and it's just basic Linux commands. I'm recording these a little differently. So the first one I recorded on the computer. The second one I recorded on my phone. I was not happy with the audio quality of that. But my deal with myself for making shorts was that they are going to be low effort, right? So I didn't process it further. The idea in my head being that shorts are meant to lead people to something of a larger value on the channel, right? But let me switch over to this screen. The short I released today, first 12 hours and 8 minutes, has 417 views. And, you know, that'll earn me not even a penny. But as you can see, this is now a 2 out of 10. And this the number one is one that I released a day or two ago. So yeah, the first one has got almost 1,500 views. 435 from the one yesterday and 331 from the one today. But that's not, and this says 419. So I don't know. Sometimes YouTube's numbers don't match themselves. Anyway, my desire is to get the channel back on track during the month of August. And one of the ways I'm trying to do that is to get new people watching and potentially subscribing. And I'm not unwilling to play the game, but I'm going to play it on my terms to an extent. So most of the shorts are going to be less than 90 seconds. As most of you will know, shorts can be up to 3 minutes now. I don't have an interest in making them that long if I can avoid it. Yeah. I'm going to see how this does. I'm not expecting a lot. I will say that I have had a decent jump in subscribers since the beginning of the month. But I don't know if that's a fluke or if it's, an actual real world increase, right? But anyway, and of course, putting out shorts, you're going to get the yahoos that are going to make stupid comments and subsequently get the ban hammer coming down on their head. Some jerkwad decided to leave a comment that says, "If you don't know this, you should just retire." And it's like, okay, I obviously know it because I'm the one making the video. So, as I would tell phone solicitors, go piss up a flagpole. Um, see how well that works out for you. And no, you can't have an umbrella. Um, so yeah, I've got the shorts already scheduled for tomorrow and Tuesday. Um, and you know, um, I've already come up with 31 commands. I've got more that I could do. Um, I was actually contemplating doing September as um, a command a day for PowerShell. As much as it pains me to say that, but there are a lot of people out there that could benefit from using PowerShell that don't use it. Myself being one of them potentially. But I would be using the more up-to-date cross-platform PowerShell version and not specifically Windows PowerShell. And yes, there is a difference. So, if I can close this. Let's see. Anybody else join us in chat? I bet 99% didn't get it or couldn't read it. Yeah. I've had very good experience with pfSense for around 10 years now, but never did try OPNsense. Yeah, I had sort of a love-hate relationship with pfSense, and I like the interface of OPNsense better, so that's why I built this firewall with OPNsense from the start. I also have Gigabyte ISP coming very soon, this coming week. Maybe the culmination of that upgrade. Nice. Optimum Fiber. There was an ad about a person noticing their veins popping out. The ad got my veins popping out. PowerShell Core on Linux is actually pretty nice. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's object oriented. Yeah, I know that. I think Microsoft has just had a Jimmy for object-oriented stuff for a long time and have used any excuse to make things object-oriented. I don't necessarily feel like my command shell needs to be object-oriented. And the one complaint I will say I've got about Action One as a patch management platform is the fact that even when they roll out some things for Mac OS and Linux, they are going to end up requiring PowerShell for some of their functionality, which I think is not necessarily the best way to go, but that's my opinion. And the the other thing that annoys me about them is the fact that they think that they're capable of doing a better job of a software repository than what has existed on Linux for more than 25 years. So I don't know. I'm not 100% on board with their approach to some of their things, but overall it's a great platform for the day-to-day work I do. Yes. If I've got to manage Windows systems, yes. The fact that they don't have a remote desktop client built in, and they haven't seemed to build out their integrations with other remote desktop clients so that they can better service non-Windows systems has me questioning their dedication to non-Windows systems. But hey, it is what it is. And as long as it's free for 200 endpoints, then I can't complain too loudly, but I do have some annoyances with some of the decisions they're making. PowerShell grows on you. I used to really hate it, but after using it for a few years on the job, it's become comfortable to use. Yeah. Well, I haven't been using it. I've got a book somewhere. I think it was called PowerShell in a Month of Lunches. I don't think I got past the first 10 pages. I've really tried to put as little Microsoft software on non-Microsoft systems as possible. Which means no PowerShell on my Mac, no PowerShell on my Linux boxes, not a physical box anyways. I will consider putting PowerShell on a Linux VM. That's as far as I'm willing to concede at this point in time. What was the poll? Who would get me ranting the most? I might try replacing Bash with PowerShell and give it a spin. We got 2 watching from Long Island. Right on. 2 from New York, 2 from Michigan, and wherever the rest of you are scattered. So hey, that's all good. Okay, so I've talked a little bit before about my approach to using AI. And in the right context, it can be a great tool, at least as a starting point. Now, while I wait for this model to load, I'm going to try to duplicate to some level the work. And basically, I wanted to have the AI write me a script. And so I did something like, I don't know if I can make this bigger or not. I can. Okay, so that might look a little better on screen. I am in need of a bash script to back up my documents, movies, and pictures. I'd like the script to be used on both Linux and Mac OS. It should use rclone as a tool to perform the backup. And we'll just see what it gives us, right? I think my prompt when I did this at work was longer. Now, this is the Qwen 2.5 coder, 14 billion token model. It's a good size model. Just for grins. Oh boy, that's using a lot of swap memory. All right, we'll let this run and see how long it takes to generate any sort of result. And look at that. So it looks like it's got two parameters that you'll supply it, your local directory and the remote. And yeah, I like the fact that it's actually putting comments in the code. That's a much shorter script than what it generated when I was at work. So the script that it generated when I was at work did a bunch of extra checking to do things like verify that rclone is actually installed, and if it's not, it prompts the user to install it. There were quite a few other sections that were included in the script. That I generated at work. But what I did do as a test, and I don't really know that much in the line of PowerShell commands, but I did So once it generated the first script, I said, okay, that looks like a good starting point. Can you generate the equivalent PowerShell script that will run cross-platform on all the systems? So, yeah, it's doing just that. So anyway, this might be something that I will revisit in greater detail when I actually start spending some time with PowerShell. But it's something I found was an interesting idea to play with. Obviously, write host is going to be the equivalent to echo. You've got your basic for loops and an embedded if else statement inside it. And this actually uses a function to handle some of this. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting. This certainly generated the script much faster than my computer at work. But again, the script generated in both the Bash and the PowerShell cases were not as involved, I guess you would say, as the one I generated at work. So I'm 99% sure I use the same AI model. So it's interesting the differences here, and I think it'd be interesting to make a copy of the ones I generated here and the ones I generated on the work computer, and just compare and see what's missing between the two. I should have really done the PowerShell one as a separate chat, but I guess it's all right. So, all right. Anyway, so, would you look at that?
Josephus is in the house. Better late than never. Josephus.
I'm starting with 1 gig, but hope I can move up to 10 gig within the next couple of years. Nice. Now on cable modem with 35 up and 300 down. Yeah, I'm getting 800 down and 30 to 35 up. Unfortunately, I would much rather have a higher upload speed or symmetric even. I don't care if it's under 500 if it were symmetric. Give me 400 symmetric, I'd be a happy guy. Optimum offers 8 gig symmetric, but I haven't tested it. Nice. Had their gigabit for a while, but dropped down to 500. Nice. Takes me almost an hour to upload my 4K videos that exceed 10 minutes. Yeah. That's why you do them overnight. That's if I were doing 4K content, I would absolutely be batch recording and editing them, and then I would be batch uploading them overnight while I'm sleeping, so I'm not wasting time waiting. My price is actually going down by $25 by going 1 gig fiber since I'm on a 30-year legacy. Nice. Down by $25 per month. Nice. The upload is a big benefit from fiber cable. They only go up to 50 max. Yeah. I wish I would be hitting 50. They were promising 50. I think 37 is the best I've ever got. My fiber sucks on upload, 500 down, 20 up. Keep telling me when head heat gear is updated, they will go symmetric. Oh, head end gear. Okay, that makes more sense. I can decipher my shirt, but sometimes the typos I can't. Somebody needs to come up with that Silicon Valley middle out compensation. Yeah. I don't know. So I'm not sure what else is new. I think I've covered everything. I was not sure this would be a terribly long stream tonight. And in order to keep plugging away on the network project, I'm wanting to keep this short. So if somebody has a final topic they want me to riff on for a few minutes, I'm okay with that, but I'll probably cut this off at the 1 hour mark because it has been a long day, and unfortunately, I have a suspicion that I'm going to be feeling being out and doing the lawn work tomorrow because I didn't take my allergy meds this morning. So I'm going to take them tonight before I go to bed in hopes that they will be kicked in by morning and I can actually breathe and see and not be like all swollen. But in any event, progress is being made. I'm taking things cautiously slow to try to head off issues that may happen. I'm anticipating a few, but I've got the makings of a plan in place to be able to resolve those if necessary, right? So, since we're going to start wrapping this up in a few minutes, I am going to put this thing up right now. Please like the video. Yeah. So, the rest of the evening, I'm going to be finishing some laundry, so I'm ready for the week. Starting to pull out some of the mess of cabling over here because I have been running 2 separate networks for a while, and I need to I need to pull the Grandstream stuff out of here temporarily so I can move some of the other stuff and then reintroduce the Grandstream stuff into the mix. So I think it's going to fall into place. But it may take a couple days. So midweek news could be late this week by a day. Excuse me, but I am putting out content. I've had 3 lackluster months in a row, and I'm looking to rally. And so I do appreciate all of you guys being here tonight, and the members that were here a couple nights ago, for moral support and just to keep me somewhat motivated to do this, when it sometimes crosses my mind that I could be doing more productive things with my time. But I don't think I'd be as happy if I weren't doing YouTube. So you're kind of stuck with me. I've pretty much committed to continuing to do YouTube content at least through the end of 2027 or 10,000 subscribers, whichever comes first. At that point in time, after I hit 10,000, I will do a celebration video, but then I'm going to take some time off to regroup and plan how I'm going to go forward from there. So, I think by the time I hit 10K, I'm gonna need a little bit of a break. So I'll take a week or 2 off, but I think I'm projected to hit 10K somewhere between August and October of 2027, unless something changes and I get a mega spike between now and then, and people start flooding into the channel. But yeah. Let's see. It sounds like the rest of the night laundry take care of my pulled pork I made, then bed for work. Nice. I could tell for sure, but do you have a small network rack in your studio there? The network rack is in the room behind me. That's where the big super micro dual node server is at. I have contemplated bringing it into this room, but I am not 100% sure I want to do that. The other alternative is, since I'm going to be moving my big TV and surround system downstairs in the fall, that the switch or the rack goes in what is currently the living room. And that is another consideration, I guess. But since the electrical in this building is so wonky, I'm a little hesitant to put it in that room. So I don't know. I haven't completely decided on where everything is going to go once it's all transitioned over to the Grandstream equipment. I'll be adding a 10-inch network rack for my upgraded studio. Nice. I've seen those 10-inch racks on Jeff Geerling's channel, and they look pretty cool. I've been watching videos on 10-inch racks. They're neat. Yeah, I've seen them on Jeff Geerling's channel, and yeah, they're pretty cool. The rate of subscribers is not linear. The more you get, the faster they build. That's how I've seen it, and what others have said. Yeah, and I've noticed that. I mean, if I go, if it wants to load up tonight, asking little much of the little Mac Mini right now. So if I go to audience and I look at subscribers and I do custom and I do say 9/1/2021 and to today. Oh, that's interesting. Come on. So, yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't know. Advanced mode. Maybe it's not going to load up on me. Don't want content. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not gonna mess with this tonight. It's acting a little squirrely. Yeah, and I'm using 14 gigs of swap memory right now, so that's not boding well. If I close LM Studio, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's dropping the swap memory down. That was the AI model loaded into RAM. So it's recovering. But I don't want content. I want audience. Audience. Did not just have an option for subscribers. That would be too easy, and they're advanced. Oh well. Anyway, that just doesn't look right. We tell it lifetime. Dun, dun, dun. Keep suggesting to my CFO that if I dye my hair blonde and put on fake rack, I may increase my popularity. She does not agree. Tony, welcome in. Watch the replay tomorrow. Love the clean shaven look. I'm not sure I'm liking it right now, but probably makes me look 2 or 3 years younger. Probably makes me look 2 or 3 years younger. So yeah. I still don't think that's doing quite what I am expecting it to. But I can put this up real quick. So obviously back in 2009, there was nothing going on. And it wasn't until I think 2014 that I published a video, and I actually started getting some subscribers. Yeah, one or two every few days. But you know, it is what it is. So I've gained 7,400 subscribers, but reality is, I guess I'm at 7,446. So I probably gained more than that. I probably lost 500 or 700 subscribers over the number of years I've been doing this. But you know, it is what it is. It comes with the territory, right? Today's video is still a number 2 out of 10. And I'm not sure if I really made any money off from the shorts. I made almost $3 this month. Woohoo! So that tells me I need to get to publishing some long form videos and concentrating less on the live streams. So the rest of the month, it may be a little bit of an experiment. And that experiment being, I may still do 2 streams a week, but it's going to be one public and one member stream. So I can keep pushing. I need to finish this network project and then balance the number of shorts I'm putting out with at least a few more long form videos this month. And if I didn't say so before, thank you for stopping in, Tony. Majority of the loss is bots being banned to farm activity to not instantly get banned. Right. So, all right, we are at 1 hour and 5 minutes. I appreciate you all for being here tonight. Hopefully I can get midweek news out relatively on time, no later than Thursday. Knock on wood. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the switch over, having the managed switches in the mix, and you know, just being able to have a little bit more granular control over some things. Not that anybody else uses my network besides me, but it'll make for some interesting experiments, and I can dig more into firewall rules and VLANs and fun stuff of that nature. And you know, with some of the new features coming out with Proxmox in the fall and different things of that nature, this is like the optimal time to be doing a switch over, because the fall is going to get busy quick. So on that note, thank you all again for being here. I've had 3 bum months, but I'm back with a vengeance, and we'll see what happens. See you next time. Yes, that was a Dr. Evil reference.